Hello and welcome to Web of Light. This is our last Christmas show that should be coming to you just as the Christmas season is kind of sort of winding down. The last several shows we've been missing Angie. I have brought the poor, lonely Angie Santa hat that should have been sitting beside me for the last 3 or 4 weeks. Well, she's been off playing Mrs. Partridge, but Santa has a Christmas present for all of our viewers this week. We have a head to put in the Sanji hat. Oh, she's back. Hello.
Hi.
And welcome to
Merry
Web of Light
Christmas.
with Mrs. Claus and Dr. Kevin. Or Mrs. Partridge. So,
Whichever you want to call it.
hey, well, you know, I'm flexible.
So Merry Christmas.
And a Happy New Year. Okay, so now we got our figgy pudding. So you're back. Welcome back. Do you want to tell us where your things have taken you?
Oh, I've been off and running, venturing the little countryside. Yeah, we went out to, took a little drive through West Virginia, right into Ohio, Kentucky area. Had some fun with my son. Now I'm back for the holidays. So we can have a little holiday fun here.
Okay, and so when can we plan on you being gone again?
No, actually, it should be pretty smooth sailing for a while now.
Okay, you heard it here first. We're actually going to be seeing Angie on future Web of Light shows for a while.
Yes, I will be back.
So, and this is our monthly astrology show. I am going to do our quote. We're going to kick it around just a little bit. And we have our New Hampshire astrologer and another guest who's just here to mess things up. Somebody that you're familiar with, but we'll get to him in a second. We didn't want Dorothy to be lonely over there.
That's right.
So
It's Christmas anyway.
it's Christmas, yes. We're giving, this is going to be Dorothy's Christmas present. No. So anyways, the piece I'm reading, actually, in an earlier show, I read another piece by my aunt, Glennis May Emery, who was an award-winning poet in her life, put out several books of poetry, won Maine Poet of the Year, New England Poet of the Year, and I chose this poem today as the entrance into Capricorn, actually. It's called, Who Am I? Who am I? A position-made participant of society? What am I? A pre-packaged commodity of commitments? That's what they tell me, but at evening, my heart whispers lies. So, I did that, and I wore my Hey Santa, Stop Judging Me shirt just for today. And Dorothy will tell us why, when she gets to Capricorn, that I would have chosen these two things.
All right.
Okay, so, but what do you think? You actually shared something before the show went on the air that you just read. What was it?
That was kind of funny because I just gotten back, so this is the first time I've really not seen the quote of the day ahead of time. And on my way in, I was listening to one of the talk radio shows and kind of went along with this quote, which is kind of amazing because I really wanted to share some of this, and this is giving me the opportunity to do so. Don't tell anyone I'm psychic. Or psychotic, depending on the day. So go ahead. So, you know, especially right now, it's the holiday season. We're right at the point of having Christmas, and I'm honestly going to say that it's a really wonderful thought that people start to really give some thought to this, especially the millennium people that are in that piece. You know, a lot of times the millenniums are running through this point where they have these high amounts that they have to pay for the college that they attended. But now they actually are even more set with other issues because it used to be that corporations or places of business would have you from like the time you walked in until the time you decided to go home, as your piece said. But now with all of the new, you know, websites and different things and emails and all that, they kind of get followed all the way through their home. And I see some of them now that this was brought to my attention. You know, they don't have time to spend with family because the next thing they know, it's not an emergency, but hey, you know what, you're going to answer this email. We need you to answer it now. who are you? You know, just give some thought to that. Why are you pursuing all that you're pursuing? You have to give yourself some time to be who you are, and be able to be with family and be able to be with your own time. So that's something to really reflect on.
Well, and you know, me, Mr. As everybody laughs at me, I have 2 iPhones, a 6 and a 7, with 2 different phone numbers and different things that come in on them. But I own my own business, and I've owned my own business for 27 years, will be 27 years in January, and I can choose to shut them off.
Yes.
But I was recently on vacation with my sister and my fiance, and at some point during vacation, even though everybody at both their workplaces knew they were on vacation, they were reached out to in a way that was clear that they were expected to either do something, respond to something, get back to something. And I'm thinking, you know, there was a day when vacation meant vacation. Mm-hmm. Anything that happened, I mean, and I remember when cell phones were, you know, I had a cell phone early on, but because I had a cell phone when I took a management position, again, now we're talking 30 years ago, and I had a cell phone, that I literally would take vacations on cruise ships in the Caribbean, so there was no cell service coverage. So nobody could call me. So my boss couldn't call me because there was a problem with the store, with this, with that, and stuff like that. And now, of course, you can't travel anywhere in the world almost and get cell service, you know, not get some form of cell service, unless you come to my condo, because that has really bad cell service in it. The one place I wanted, of course.
So,
but how do we? But employees, but employers expect it.
Yeah.
Well, I sent you an email, you didn't respond. Well, I was on vacation. Well, I might have been sleeping. I might have been having a private life.
So the problem I find with this, though, honestly, with myself, the problem I find with this, because I do the same, and of course you get a little upset sometimes because you can't get through to me. I'm the opposite of him. When I'm ready to go do something, I shut it all down. It's gone. It's something that one of my old, I guess he was a manager of my whole entire building, taught me from a very long time ago. Once you leave what you're doing and you're going into being with your family or being with your home, purge it. And that's the best way to come back the next day refreshed and ready to really tackle things. So I still purge it.
Well, no, it's, I want to defend myself here for a second. For 2 things. One, I actually, you know, yesterday, and Dorothy's going to tell me why, I had I had a day that I felt like I was just in a coma all day long. But I was like, I need to take a nap. I mean, I was like, I'm just like, I can't think. I'm foggy brained. I'm not doing any good. I'm just pretending to do something so I can feel productive. And that doesn't work for me. I don't dance with that dance anymore. And I went and put my cell phones in a different room on a charger with the thing off so I couldn't hear them. And I laid down, and the only thing that disturbed me was the cat, who we're now having for dinner tonight. No. So anyways, but no, I do turn my phones off and stuff like this. But you know what Angie is referring to is we'll be in the middle of making plans or something, and she'll leave her cell phone 3 rooms away by accident, and I don't get a response, you know, for several hours on a, are you ready for me to come over text? Yeah. So I just want you to hear both sides of the story. Talking about both sides of the story, I know that we have a Capricornian taskmaster over there with a clipboard that's going to hit me with it if I don't introduce her. Show him your clipboard.
That's me.
That's her. Yes. We're going to welcome our New Hampshire astrologer, Dorothy Morgan, who's going to be going over the time of Capricorn. And we have sitting in as a secondary co-host or guest or, I don't know, somebody that was hitchhiking and we picked
just
up
hanging out, yeah.
Matt Connerton. Hey, Matt.
Hey, I like how you put it earlier. I forget what you said, though. Something about I'm here to ruin everything or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So anyway, so Merry Christmas. There's your gift.
Oh, yes. Happy holidays.
Happy holiday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Happy holidays.
So in this PC world. Oh, no, Trump's president now. It doesn't matter. Never mind.
I've started saying happy everything to people.
Did you? Yeah. I like that.
I just go, happy everything. Whatever it is you celebrate it well. Happy everything.
I like that, actually. Yeah.
And, you know.
Good.
That might stick.
It's good.
You know, and if I do say Christmas, Hanukkah, Denwali, Kwanzaa.
Dead Wally? Did you say Dead Wally?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
Dead
Wally?
Wally.
And what happened to him?
Not Dead. Dead Wally. Anyways, speak up. So tell us, why was I in such a fog yesterday? What's going on with Capricorn? We're in the middle of a Mercury retrograde.
We're
or
not
at the
in the
beginning.
middle of a Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde only started on the 19th of December. And so we're recording this
On the
on
20th.
the 20th. So we're a little, we're running behind, but that's the way it is. Yeah, Mercury, when the planets go retrograde, I've mentioned this before, when they go retrograde, they actually have to stop first. It's no different than us moving our car, stopping to go to the other direction. And this is when we have the most trouble. People always give Mercury retrograde a lot of credit for everything that goes wrong. But on the day that any of the planets, everybody goes retrograde once a year except for Venus. Whenever the planets go retrograde, they sit still. When they sit still, from our perspective here, they create like not chaos, but nothing moves. And with Mercury, the planet of communication, of movement, of socialization, we tend to feel it when it's stuck, when it's just sitting still. And it's at the same one position, the same degree for almost a week, when it's usually in its usual movement, it goes through that 1 degree less than a day. So you can see how we have things that don't seem to move much. And so this is actually part of what I want to talk about today anyways, because we start the Capricorn time of year on the 21st, so tomorrow morning, on the 21st, winter solstice, with Mercury retrograde. And I don't want you to think that every time something goes wrong, it's that. Basically, what this is telling us in a nutshell is to slow down. And if I wasn't on TV, I would have said something with the F word.
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
I'm serious.
Slow the fruitcake down.
That's right, because
It
it's
is the
going
season.
too fast. We're going too fast. And so especially in Capricorn, and it was retrograde conjunct Pluto, and all of that means is like we're serious, Mercury's serious about slowing down, slowing us down. When I came here today, because I live an hour from here, I knew to leave early, and I ran into 3 different traffic concerns, and I would have been late if I had come at my regular time.
Yep.
Not that you'd record without me, but the point being, think ahead, plan things to take a little extra time, and just slow down. Enjoy the present moment.
Well, we could have thrown a wig on Matt, put an earpiece, and he could have said, "Hi, I'm Dorothy, and this is the time of Capricorn, and we have a Mercury retrograde situation here, which is why I look different."
Would you have set up a teleprompter for me, or because I wouldn't be able to remember all that?
No, it would have been an earpiece in your ear. She would have been speaking, and she would have been speaking.
Oh,
and since there's not a lot to
okay.
block it, it would have just come back right out the lips.
So you would have been my producer, but producing your dialogue.
Apparently. Apparently.
How fun. That would have been innovative.
Well, I could
Very
not have
innovative.
slowed down any more than I did yesterday.
Right.
And yesterday, my plight was I couldn't get, I was trying to get a lot accomplished, and it was like, oh, it's already 4. Why,
How did
where'd
that
the time
happen?
go?
I know, huh?
I have days like that where it just feels like I'm moving through molasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And so when we have days like that, it's just go with it. We need to go with it. One of the biggest spiritual lessons in the world, and at least actually astrologically, when you're looking at astrology on a very spiritual level, I mean, are you going with life or are you against it? So if your day is hitting like a lot of roadblocks, then just slow down.
Well, I passed the test. I took 2 naps and 2
Good.
baths and read 5 chapters of my book.
Good. Wonderful.
That was about as far as I was like, I can't think.
Yeah. I had
I'm
one
not
student.
going to.
I guess I could say I flunked. So I kept trudging along until about 9:30 at night. But I got it all done.
All right. But Geminis, we could all get through it no matter what anyways. But it just creates, it's just roadblocks, slowing down. I'd still rather go 20 miles an hour than be dead stop. If I'm on the
Yeah.
highway, I'd still rather be moving at least a little bit.
Right.
At least you're going.
Right.
You're getting there.
Yep. Well, and yesterday I knew I was getting somewhere. I think it was Slumberland.
That's all right.
Oh, no. Okay, so why
And-
did I choose that poem and why did I choose this T-shirt? Because we're going into the time of Capricorn.
Well, Capricorn typically, and you're going to have your own warped sense of what Capricorn is. I'll just say it now, knowing you as I do.
My warped sense. I like that. My warped sense. Go ahead. I'm listening.
To me, as a professional astrologer, I believe Capricorn is about being logical and practical.
Uh-huh.
It is down to earth. It is realistic. It's fundamental. It is all about doing what's expected from us, doing what society says we should be doing. So it wasn't too warped after all. It's our career and it's also our social status, and we really still do have that in this world. When I say social status, I still think of, the caste system and different systems like that, but we still have that here, nowadays. Who are you in that scale and the social standings, a married person, a single person, a person who's a professional. We all are identified, but how the world sees us.
A person who's a professional. Depends what kind of professional the person is, what caste they end up in.
That's right.
Some professions are honored above others.
True. Very
So-
true.
Well, so I was right on with the poem.
Mm-hmm.
What about the T-shirt? Why do you think I chose the T-shirt?
Santa, stop judging me. Santa is a historical story, and Capricorn's about history. Judgment. Capricorn tends to be they can be very judgmental, judging people on their business sense and reputation. Why did you choose it? You're going to have to tell me. I can't guess. Can't guess.
I'm trying to remember what movie that character is from.
The Minions?
The Minions.
Minions.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, the Minions. Well, because people perceive Capricorns as judgmental, I think more so than they actually are. And you say they can absolutely, well, we can all be judgmental.
Yes.
But Capricorn tends to be more attached to like the way things are supposed to be done.
Yep.
And so when things don't happen the way they're supposed to be done, they're very much about pointing it out. But it's so interesting. I don't know that it's always judgment. I think that sometimes it's like there's a teacher aspect to Capricorn.
Oh, there is, absolutely. The authority. It's the authority piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My job is to run whatever I'm running, and if it's not being done the way it's supposed to be done, then my job is to correct you. And it's not that I'm saying that you're a bad person, but this is how it's supposed to be done. And so
correct.
that kind of almost anal retentiveness type of things.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but I've always heard, and I'd like you to comment on this, and then I know you've got pages of notes to go through, they always say that Capricorns were born old and get younger as they get older.
I love that concept. I love that concept. Traditionally, which is Capricorn, and I may be a Gemini, but and we all have all the planets in our solar system in our charts. My moon's in Capricorn, my Saturn is in Capricorn, and the top of the chart, which is ruled by Capricorn, is Capricorn for me. So I may be a Gemini, but I have a lot of Capricorn qualities, which is hence the clipboard. and the need to laugh and smile and feel just like casual about it if I don't get through the whole thing, because I used to be really uptight about stuff like that.
And I
Not
take at least a
anymore.
tiny little bit of credit of loosening you up through the years. Just
Yeah.
a tiny little bit.
All right.
Yeah, because you're not going to get through the whole thing.
I'm not. I know I'm not.
So the
I'm already
thing is-
sitting here in my mind, in my Capricorn mind, And I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to get through that. I know I am while you're talking, and I'm peeking, and I'm like, nope, not getting through that piece either. So
yes.
what's most important?
She really is
so
crossing
many
them out,
things.
too.
I am. They're done.
Okay.
Well, the question I have with this, though, is that, yes, they are judgmental. And it's, why is it that, because I've had several Capricorns around me, and I, of course, I'm a Gemini. And what I don't understand is a lot of people will take on the Capricorn's judgment as being very not happy with you at all, whereas I can see past that. And it's like, I just know that they're trying to make it so that it's working the right way, only they have a really abrupt way of doing that. So
That's true.
what makes me able, is there something with that?
What makes
piece
you
that I'm
you? It's
Gemini?
because it's just who you are.
How can I get that, how come I don't see that same, that other people
Because
do?
we all see outside circumstances as we all take it personally. We take everything personally. And it's not it's typically not that way. It's that person's behavior and emotions and feelings and the things that, through the astrologer's mind, the things that that person is working out. So even as myself, for years being the Capricorn, I've run my own businesses, I've had employees, and I think back and I'm like, wow, not so easy to work for me, because when I see something needs to be done, I expect it to be done. And the person receiving that information or that direction depends on how I'm delivering it too.
So grabbing a Capricorn by the shoulders and saying, get off my back, isn't necessarily necessary.
No, it probably wouldn't work.
Okay.
No.
Because
Oh,
they would
God,
just
no.
fire you, because that means you wouldn't be complying.
Oh, right. That is frowned upon, I suppose. Yeah.
But
Worst thing to do.
But it really
okay.
depends on the, it really is.
I used to be a career counselor, and I actually had Capricorn fired me from that job, and I think I know why now.
Because Capricorn's in charge of careers, and you may not have had enough
Probably gave people bad advice.
structure and foundation around that.
That too.
It is, but it really depends on us. And so while this is the time of year of Capricorn, and thanks for being here today, this is going to be such not a Capricorn show, thank God. 'Cause
I'm a
personally-
Scorpio, so
I know you are.
I have no Capricorn to offer.
I was wondering how this Capricorn, because this is a Christmas show, and I'm like, Capricorn, it's so strict. Well, how am I going to lighten this up? Thanks, Matt.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right.
See, I told you we brought you a Christmas present.
Yes.
I know. So Capricorn can be really hard-nosed, but I don't want all the Capricorns out there to start sending me nasty emails either.
They'll be spelled correctly, though.
That's true.
And they'll have good grammar.
And good grammar, yes. And it'll be very well organized, and there'll be spaces between the lines where they need to be, called paragraphs.
Yes, and the insults will be precisionally
Precision. Precise.
precise.
But all of us, let me tell you, the astrology wheel is round, and all 12 zodiac signs are around us somewhere. Every single person has Capricorn. So this is the time of year that everybody's Capricorn gets activated, because that's where the sun is. We actually have Pluto in Capricorn, Mercury's retrograde in Capricorn, so all of these things that are going on, we're all going to look at, if we're not going to get serious, because maybe we can't be serious people, but we're all going to maybe find what's tradition for us too, because Capricorn is about tradition and what feels good, what our family has done, what's tradition for our religion or tradition for, our community.
Last astrology show, and I do want you to make sure you get through the things that are really important there. So I'm going to make Angie stop asking all these questions. In our last,
Oh, God.
Stop it.
So verbose.
in our last show, I asked you the question that did we create the coming up to Christmas holiday season when we created it because Sagittarius is with the non-going party. And now we're coming into one of the areas where, first of all, we've got the hangover from the party, and we've got one of the longest recorded standing traditions going, which is solstice, Yule, Christmas, Hanukkah. I mean, every major
Yeah.
religion has something going on in this time of the year
yes.
that's all about tradition. And so, I kind of bring that through of, so did these times get stuck here because it's the perfect Capricornian place to stick it? That was a serious question.
I know there's definitely a joke or two in there.
But this is, what time does this air? We
All the time.
Oh, okay.
So
24-hour news cycle. Go ahead.
Sagittarius is, the energy of Sagittarius, and I think astrology, I don't know how old Judaism is, but I know astrology is pretty old, 4, 5, 6,000 years approximately. So there could be other religions that are relating to it. And really the astrology is set up tropically most of the time. And that just means that we can tell where the sun's going to be, and we know that this is the beginning of light. Yule, which is Yule, and then of course Christmas and Hanukkah and all of that. And Hanukkah it goes by the lunar cycles, always has. The Jewish holidays are all related to the lunar cycles. And so Hanukkah shifts a little bit every year because of that, right?
Those moon children.
Yes, it's beautiful. And so basically, I think really what it comes down to is it's just about bringing in the light, you know, the birth of the sun god, the birth of the son of God, that's from paganism, the birth of the sun god, to Christianity, the birth of the son of God. And so that's how it looks and that's how it works.
So somebody was recording ancient texts and they kind of snoozed off and they wrote from sun god to son of God, and it's been changed ever since.
That's what the Christianity has shifted it. That's all right.
You Christians, see what you've done? You
been around
changed
for a while.
history.
Yes.
It's got some longevity now, so it's kind of sticking. The pagan sort of
Passing phase.
2,000 something years. Yeah, that's it.
Passing phase. So go ahead. So what's going on in this time of Capricorn, Miss Dorothy? Come on, speak up. Speak
So
up.
I'm trying, man. I'm not going to say much about Christmas Eve or Christmas because it's nice, it's comfortable. On Christmas Day, the moon's in the sign of Scorpio. So what we're going to look here for is don't get into any really deep family conversations on that day. Have some fun. Drink. I don't know. Play. Do whatever. Don't get too deep. Scorpio is really intense. And, I mean, you can start bringing up stuff that just should stay in the cellar for now if you want to have a good Christmas. So don't bring up really... Play, have fun. Keep Christmas easy. Keep it light. That's Christmas Day. So,
okay, great.
Yeah, I know, huh?
Yeah. And you got a sun in Scorpio, and I got a moon in Scorpio. I'm with my in-laws, so I'm in trouble. Go ahead.
I don't have any children anywhere, Dr. Kevin, actually.
Your sun is in Scorpio.
The S-U-N, not S-O-N.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We are talking about astrology today.
Does that mean I'm also a son of God?
You're a son of Scorpio.
Oh, okay. No, his name's Marty.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Try to get something serious out.
No.
I dare you. I dare you. Capricorn's a very serious subject. Let's go.
So Jupiter and Uranus are in an opposition. See, nothing is going to be funny.
Can't be serious saying Uranus.
Oh my God.
Welcome to Web of Light, your spiritual show.
All right.
Get drunk on Christmas, and now what are we doing with Jupiter?
No, we got to get serious. Uranus is no laughing matter.
Go ahead.
Let's buckle down.
Okay, go ahead.
This is not a good astrology. This is not a good astrology day.
I'm learning a lot.
Go ahead.
I don't even know where the moon is right now. I should know. I think it's in Virgo. I'm trying to be particular. You're not letting me.
The moon's in hysteria. Go ahead.
I think the moon's in Leo now.
That would make
No,
sense.
Leo, Virgo. What's after Virgo? Oh, yeah.
Libra.
Libra. I
Yeah.
think the moon's in Libra now.
Okay.
Anyways, what we have, December 26th, so we're feeling this energy now anyways, all the way through the Christmas season. And this aspect I'm going to give you a little information on is also March 2nd and in September of 2017. So this energy of something that's going on now is getting through the whole year. So this kind of gives us a 2017 glimpse, right? And so with Uranus and Jupiter, what happens here is can range from we need a break in our routine all the way to that life changes, our beliefs are changing, we have a lot of shifts in our political party, of course, but with Uranus doing what it's doing, and with Jupiter there, we are in store for a lot of changes. So wherever you're feeling kind of antsy, it's just Christmas aside, but wherever you're feeling a little anxiety, not negative anxiety, but you feel you need a change in something, it is recommended. I recommend that you actually step into that and don't be fearful of making the change that you're looking for. Everywhere I turn, all my clients, all my students, people are always like, you know what, I'm done my job. I want to leave. I'm so done with corporate, Capricorn, that I want to go do my own thing. I want to figure out how I can do my own thing. I have so many people that I've been working with lately who are doing this. They're really feeling the need to break free. Now, this has a lot to do with Uranus, and on Christmas Day, he also goes direct, because he's been retrograde since July. Now, when that big dude goes retrograde, we already talked about Mercury, but when he goes retrograde, there are major, major changes, because it is about us breaking away and feeling like we need to be a rebel, because that Aquarius, Uranus energy is all about being a rebel, being independent. And this started when this planet started to go retrograde. That was back near the time when, okay, Great Britain left the European Union, Brexit. Now it's happening again, and we have us here in this country. We've voted in somebody that is supposed to completely change our political system, and things are being shook up. We'll see the results of that at some point. Don't know when. So we know, and then we have people being rebels, like in South Dakota, and they're standing up for, in Standing Rock, fighting for clean water, trying to stop those pipelines from going through. So these are the examples of things that are going on around the world, and especially in our nation. And so while we have that on a big global picture where people are taking a chance and they're rebelling and we're looking for major, major changes, my question for you as an individual is, where do you want this to happen in your life? How do you want to make some type of change that you can break out of what is old and what's traditional or what's stale or what's expected of you? How can you step out? So that's the question you can ask yourself. Contemplate, think about it. What does it mean for you?
So where do you want to step out, Dorothy?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I'm working on a new project, because where this goes on in my chart, I can't talk about it yet because I'm not ready
To talk about
it, but it's something that where I can do, and I can just break into something different. It's all astrology. That's all I do. So it's something different in astrology that I'm trying. We'll see if I get the messages on how I need to do what I need to do. But that's what I'm trying to do.
Matt Connerton, how are you going to change your life? Change has come to your door and is shaking you up and said, be different than you've been before. How do you want to do it?
Ooh, that's a big question.
I don't do little questions. I'm a size queen.
No. Can we come back to me in a minute?
Angie, where do you want to make the change? Where do you want to shake up your life?
Oh, I know that the changes are already in. I'm contemplating a lot of changes already. So what she's saying is actually it's actually giving me that guidance that, yeah, this is going to work.
Permission?
Yeah, because I'm like looking at it, and my changes are going to be revamping a lot of the things that are surrounding me, in the structure of what I'm presented in. All
She's
of
going to
those
dump
types
me.
of things.
I have come to help with the change.
No, you are going to be actually a part of that progressive change.
She's letting you down easy.
Ah, there we go.
You're going to be a part of the change. That's not a euphemism for anything.
Matt.
You know what? I need to make my life work more efficiently. That's something I need to change.
Yeah. And this is something pretty interesting, too, because like I said, it's going to go on through all of 2017. But since we're looking at Capricorn, and everybody loves New Year resolutions, right? So since we're in the Capricorn time period, and it is about, well, what is my structure? What is my foundation? What's tradition for me? What do I want to hang on to? What looks good? What makes me feel comfortable or empowers me? But then we have the new moon just a couple days before January 1st. So the new moon, I didn't write it down, I think it's the 28th. And at the new moon in Capricorn, this is where we can set out new goals and do like those New Year resolutions. This is the first time in a long time we've had a new moon close to New Year's Eve. And we all make New Year's resolutions. So this is the great opportunity for you to write down some goals. And again, I know I'm talking about big, huge, lofty things, but change is different for everybody. For someone just to change their daily routine can set off like changes throughout your whole life. Because people can be so stuck in a routine. It's okay to have routines, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But changing one simple little thing in your life can, you know, reverb through your whole life, and it invites change.
Yeah, to show you one of the aspects of that, like you were saying, a lot of it has to do with tradition, the changes that I'm planning to make, because my traditional values, like I have a lot of things that are nestled into the walls of my home everywhere, and it's all about, a lot of it was like, well, you know, maybe we shouldn't do that because it's tradition,
Yeah.
and now I'm starting to realize we have an abundance without that tradition, so we can release it and make room for something new.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
you can make new traditions.
We never asked you, what are you up to, Dr. Kevin?
Well, you know, it's interesting because I flash back to oftentimes, because my Mercury is retrograde in my natal chart.
Yep.
And so oftentimes what I find is when I go into a Mercury retrograde, I am either bringing to completion or bringing to the next level or clarifying or beginning something that's going to appear through my Mercury retrogrades until it
Yep.
flowers.
Yep.
And so in the last Mercury retrograde, I was very much about changing the way I did my business and made some changes. Now have some experiential of, okay, so this and this and this. And now I know that I'm going back into that whole thing of changing the way that I'm in the world with my business, how I want it to run, how I want to, you know, how I want to relate to it, how I see it, how it affects. So I think it's interesting because obviously we're in business
I was
together.
going
on
to say,
several
hopefully he's
different
not playing a review now.
Yeah.
things. We'll see. I was setting you. No, but you know, and you and I have lots of exciting things going on in 2017. That is a change of
Yes, we do. Big changes.
traditional of where we're changing. I
Yeah.
mean, we're opening a
Big
healing center
changes.
together,
Yeah.
which is going to be very different than all the healing centers I've had in the past. And we're creating
Yeah.
a new model
It's a
for
little
it.
bit of, it's quite the difference from.
It would be different because there's two of you, and your energy is part of something that you've not
And
done
it's also
before,
in a
so-
more comfortable setting too. So
Yeah.
it's not like that traditional, I have to be at that office,
Yeah.
you know, background area in the office building or in the plaza. This is more of a homey base.
And to make this fit a little better too, well, not even a little better, but Jupiter, opposite Uranus, Jupiter is all about educating. It is about expanding our knowledge through life, through experiences. And Uranus in the sign of Aries, when we're looking at it in this place and not being so much of a rebel, but it's about cutting edge, new ways of doing things. Technology plays a huge role in what's going on here too. And we know how technology, I mean, revolutions and people rebelling against things. I mean, social media, which is ruled by Aquarius and Uranus, has been monumental in changing news information.
Yes.
Well, and so here we go. I had just asked Matt, and he said he expressed an interest, and can I say this on air?
Oh, sure, yeah, please, yeah.
So in 2017, you know, Angie and I have, first of all, the Web of Light Expo, which will be the first time that we do it, and we're looking to do it twice a year.
Twice a year.
And doing it in a different way. I'm going to be starting a new show called Dragons, Unicorns, and Other Creative Creatures in January, which will be about supporting art, anybody who does art, any kind of art. I want, you know, dancers, singers. I just want original artists who are here that say, my life is about art, and this is the art I do, and sharing that. And I've been strategizing with our producer here. And then Matt and I are going to start our own show that we'll be doing once or twice a month, I think, to start with, called Neutral News, where we look at everything going on and then give you the facts minus the hype, minus all of the partisan
Needs to happen.
BS.
Needs to happen.
Yep.
That's the Uranus and Aries. It wants the truth, you know.
Yep.
We've done the, massive media, which is only feeding us what
Yep.
is, I don't know where it comes from, but yeah.
So, so I just talked to Matt about today because we hadn't had a chance to connect, but he's very interested. So we're going to look at launching that show at some point as well. So I think that there's a lot of getting it out more.
Yep.
And you and I are doing something together this year, and I don't know what it is, but I just
All right.
intuitively hit that you and I are going to be
All right.
doing some kind of dance together.
Woo.
Does that make sense to you?
It does.
Ooh.
Yeah, okay.
How about the lambada? It's the forbidden dance.
I don't know what it is.
Well, that's probably a YouTube video you can watch to learn a little something.
Okay.
Forbidden no more. So continue.
So, again, just to reiterate for everybody listening, even though it may sound like we've said a whole lot, what it really comes down to in a nutshell with with these two planets working together, just be a little brave and step out of your comfort zone in just one little place, because it will really do you good. And then that new moon, here it is, I did write it down, on the 28th of December, we can set new goals for our new, for the New Year resolutions. If you want to know more, they will put my website below. And I have a new moon, because I do new moon, full moon videos on YouTube.
Yep.
And a weekly forecast on YouTube. So there's like 6 videos a month and a written forecast too. So you can read it. I mean, there's just so much media. And so you can get the details there too.
New moon is when?
The new moon will be 28th of December.
28th. I thought you said the 20th. I'm like, that's tonight? No, okay,
28th.
28th. Okay.
Yeah, I
According
may
to
have-
Duran Duran, there's a new moon on Monday.
Is there?
Remember that song?
Oh. Indeed. Indeed. New Year's Eve. Neptune and Mars are connecting. Now, they're in the sign of Pisces.
A hookup.
So a hookup. Oh, yeah? That's a big hookup. Underwater hookup. So,
That's hot.
I don't even know
baby.
anything about that.
Oh my.
You might need breathing too. Drinking is going to be extra effective on New Year's Eve. So be careful of your
Perfect
drinking.
opportunity for us.
Extra effective. I like
Extra
that term.
effective.
Good.
Yeah. And we need to be careful of our boundaries, because Pisces, Neptune, stuff like that, we don't tend to know where our boundaries are. It's very hard to know what our boundaries are. So, people are going to step over boundaries. And then again, New Year's Eve when people are drinking, people drinking are always, they don't know where those boundaries are. So it's going to be an interesting evening. Play it safe. If you're going to drink, just stay where you're at. Throw your keys in the big bowl. No, wait a minute, that's something else. We're wound up
Along
today.
with all those different colored pills.
Yeah.
Oh my.
We're just wound up today. What can we say? It's the end of the... Anyways, moving on. Mercury, during this Capricorn time, again, Capricorn, right? Remember we were saying all logical, practical, down to earth, right? And we're just laughing at it the whole time. He's not thrilled. Mercury goes...
We are not amused.
We are not amused.
I'm channeling Capricorn. We are not amused. Go ahead.
That's true. Capricorn is the father time. Saturn is the lord of time, the lord of karma. Father time, he comes in on the 31st, there you go, of December, and he leaves. So Capricorn is a strong presence this time of year. But when Mercury goes retrograde, goes direct on January 8th, this is an interesting period because it backs up all the way to Sagittarius. So make notes. So January 8th, and then the end of next year, the end of 2017, because Mercury goes retrograde 4 times a year. And it's going retrograde at the same degree. So January 8th, and then next year at the end of December. So we have something that with communication, paying attention, Sagittarius is about education, foreign policy, foreign people. So whatever is beginning in January, whatever we see around the first couple of weeks of January, will be a repeat at the end of 2017. So this is a really interesting thing. I don't know how I discovered it. I don't usually look that far ahead, but this is something that's really important. So if you're starting a project, you know that if you start it in the beginning of January, you're going to be able to still be working on it at the end of the year. So this is a great opportunity for that. But if there's troubles, and big troubles, especially globally, it will be a whole year process of what we're going to have to get used to or work on.
Now, when is the inauguration date?
21st,
21st.
20th,
20th?
I was
20th.
later
20th.
midnight.
zero Aquarius.
Okay, so right now we're looking that the incoming Trump presidency, which in a couple of weeks you'll be able to see Matt and I do a show called Surviving the Trump Presidency, which is not a Trump bashing show. I just want to make that very clear.
No, we just explain how to build an underground bunker and
No,
prepping. No, not really.
But so the beginning of this January, people are preparing for a lot of upheaval because of that presidency. And so next year when the Kremlin comes in and takes over, it will just be a parallel event?
Correct.
Okay,
Yes,
just checking.
it's all as it should be, written in the stars.
It is written in the stars.
So what else do the stars have to say? We got about 5 more minutes.
5 more minutes. Okay, so let's finish up with the full moon in January, on January 12th. Again, you can get more of this at my website. But what we have here is the full moon in the sign of Cancer. So we get to focus on home and family and your zodiac sign. It's a comfortable opposition. But it's just after, no, never mind. I got lost almost for a second here. Jeez, you guys are really, you're messing with my Capricorn.
You're welcome.
Yeah, thanks. I know, I'm usually more serious than this, but it's okay. I like to smile. It's fun.
You're so pretty when you smile.
I agree, and a lot of the wrinkles go away when you smile too. It works. All right, so the full moon. You lost me.
When is the full moon?
It's on January 12th, and it's in the sign of Cancer.
Yes.
So the sun is still in Capricorn and the moon is in Cancer. It's a unique opposition. It's a unique full moon because, again, the sun is all about being, business-like and work-oriented, and that Cancer moon, her own sign, she's like, I just want to be home. I want to stay home. I want to be home. I want to be comfortable, warm around a fire, at least for us here in the Northern Hemisphere. It's a bit cold right now, so and it's
Chilly.
It's chilly. It's comforting.
Chilly.
So it's a nice energy of comfort.
Okay.
Yeah.
So does that mean that people that do home-based businesses, like this is their hallelujah best day of the year because they can be at home and be in business
That's
same
fine.
time?
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
When we have this opposition too in the Northern Hemisphere, because since it's winter here, we tend to actually have storms when the moon is in a water sign like this and the sun is in a really cold sign like Capricorn. So we happen to have snowstorms around the full moon in Cancer.
I'll plan not to travel.
Yeah.
Right now I won't have anything.
Because weather astrology is fascinating too, so it's a whole different process. But we can be pretty accurate with weather astrology, if you know it.
Okay. So what else do we have to look forward to in this time of Capricorn?
Let's see, Mars and Saturn are in a hard square. Didn't want to end with a negative thing, but you asked.
Oh, okay.
Mars and Saturn are in a hard square, and this creates stress and frustration. And once we realize that we're feeling frustrated or we're stressed, if we can slow down and look at it and think about it for a minute, then we're able to take that stress and actually be very, very productive with it and really move mountains with it. Because when these two are together, they can be cooperative, but in the angle that they're in, it creates stress first. And you know how sometimes we're really stressful and we don't like something, and so we look, it pushes us into a solution.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Well, and one of the things that I talk about on a semi-regular basis is the difference between distress and eustress.
Yeah.
And distress takes from us, blows out our adrenals, makes us not think clearly, makes us
Right.
unproductive. Eustress actually gives us that energy to move mountains,
Yes.
to feel good about it,
Yep.
and creates the same kind of endorphins that create around happiness and joy.
Yeah.
So it's going to be there,
Yep.
but our viewers can choose, am I going to be de-stressed
Yeah.
about it and go into blame and point and struggle, or am I going to be eustressed about it and go, this is challenge, this is opportunity, this is a chance to move forward, and
Yes.
it's all going to be about how we approach it, because it's
Always.
going to be there.
Yes.
It's going to be there.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with it?
And this square, both of the zodiac signs, each of these planets are in, are mutable, and mutable means it's movable and changeable. So this is the easiest of the squares out of the other types that there are. So that just means that if you, like I said, stop, take a few breaths, realize that you're frustrated and something isn't working, you just stop long enough and just say, okay, and recenter, what's going on for me, what can I do here, and just get back into yourself. You can move through that again and create great change in your life. So if you're finding life frustrating, stop, take a breath, back up a little bit, and just reassess and see what direction you want to go. It's really a very useful square, even though some people will find it frustrating and upsetting. Other people can take that into something good. So what's your attitude in life? Just like you said, and that's really what it will come down to. And in all of this is the same thing. And like I've mentioned before, it's like, are you working with life or against it? And even though trouble hits and things can be tough, I mean, you can still be very happy and calm and content in your own life, even when there's stress around you.
Okay, so I'm going to go around and get closing comments from everybody. And I'm going to start with Matt. I will come to you last because I've got a question for you. Matt, any closing thoughts or ideas about stuff that's gone on in today's show?
It's wonderful to see you, Dorothy. It's been a while.
Yes,
And that's it. Thank you for having me. It's been fun.
it was fun.
Yeah, it was
Happy
fun.
New Year, everybody.
Thank you.
Any closing thoughts or ideas, Miss Angie, now that you've returned?
It's
Mrs.
nice to be
Parker?
back into the swing of things.
Okay.
And as always, we always enjoy all of the knowledge that Dorothy brings to us. I do want to add to it that do yourself a favor, check out her website, and the pieces that she gives are really amazing, and she's very detailed.
Miss Dorothy. So I haven't even, this just occurred to me, so I'm just throwing it out, as I do, unpredictably. Should we do a 2017 special edition show of Web of Light of just the overview of 2017? I know we do one every month, but I know back when I worked with a different astrologer on my radio show, we would always do a beginning of the year, like what does the whole year arc look like? What do you think? Would that be valuable?
Yes, because we briefly touched on it
Okay.
today.
Do you think that you can schedule that in between her absence, visiting?
Yes.
What do you think, Ange? Do you think we should do a?
I think that would be a wonderful thing to do.
Okay, so
Yep.
Start the new year off.
Yeah.
keep your eyes open. In January, we will have a kind of a special edition show out called the Astrology for 2017, where we're giving Dorothy a heads up now. Get ready. Probably you're going to be taping anything.
I
anyways, if
have
you
it
want.
already because I did an interview yesterday for a newspaper article. So, so we got it.
So any closing thoughts or ideas quickly?
Yeah, I already did that.
Okay.
Go with the flow, folks. Go with the flow.
Okay. So, you may be watching this just before Christmas. You may be watching this just after Christmas. You may not. You may be watching this in March, for all I know, because once on the net, always on the net. But as you're going into the Christmas season, you have been advised to drink heavily on Christmas and lighten up on New Year's. You have been advised to go with the flow and know that there are going to be some squishy moments, and how you deal with them is going to depend on exactly how they go. So you've been given information with which to make better decisions, and you're coming up to New Year's Eve. I want it to be really clear here that no matter what goes on around here, what goes on in here is the final focal point. How you take it in, how you choose to see it, and what you choose to do about it will unfold the future you get with it. So it will be yours. And so maybe you'll get frustrated. Maybe you'll have 1 or 2 drinks. Maybe you'll cross a boundary. Maybe your boundary will be crossed. Maybe you will accept the challenge to step up and do something new and different with your life. The universe favors change this year. The question is, will you be in control of it, or will it be in control of you? Namaste.